Me 1 week after swallowing a train horn. I must say it's been quite a long time since I've been on any date, let alone a first date. Or at least according to the police department, because standing in dark alleys and staring at people saying
Forgotten
doesn't constitute a romantic encounter. That combined with the fact that I'm also horrifically shy and prone to social awkwardness, it doesn't exactly suit the modern dating scene. A dating scene in which it's not only normalized but encouraged to name and shame bad dates. The amount of times I've been scrolling through TikTok or YouTube and have seen very personal information about an unsuspecting person who doesn't want to be in the public eye being blasted all over social media by some crazy narcissist is too many to count on all of my 11 fingers and toes. It's too disgustingly common in my opinion to be watching an entire episode of Adventure Time and or snippets from a movie narrated in 58 parts. The man have suffered whole life with gigantic cock and balls, and then to take the next scroll down the line and be greeted by someone who's doxing another person's personal information simply because they didn't pick up the check. These types of horror date stories always tend to bring in the clicks, however. So real or not, there's always going to be a drive force behind this content. Especially because the algorithm is highly incentivized to keep pushing these types of videos because of the amount of engagement and comment threads they get. As grown men and women, probably in their mid-20s, have nothing better to do but argue like literal children. Second grade doo-doo head mudslinging. Yeah, well, boys are better than girls. No, girls are better than boys. Doo-doo head. Oh yeah, well, you're a pedophile. For the most part, these horror date stories aren't very interesting, but occasionally you get an absolute golden nugget that drops onto your chest. And that just happened with Oystergate. So first, let me set the scene. You're an attractive woman, presumably in your mid-20s. You probably get hit up every single day by multiple different men. You also happen to be, in this scenario, a woman by the name of Iguana B, or at least by her TikTok handle. She was allegedly invited out multiple times by this one specific gentleman for just drinks. After months and months or weeks and weeks of being worn down by beautiful Rosebud, Iguana B eventually gave in and decided to meet the gentleman, or the fella, at a seafood restaurant. Now, you remember when I said she was invited out for drinks? Well, typically when you invite someone out for one specific thing, especially on a first date, it's expected to do that one specific thing. That was a nice arrow. The gate's open. The gate's open. Why? 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 You know what? Actually, come here. What do you have to say about oysters? Very interesting commentary. As I was saying, one specific thing. Now, this is just me and my opinion. You want to present your best, especially on a first date. So you want to be as respectful of that other person as humanly possible, both financially and physically, and try not to abuse their trust that they're putting into a stranger. A memo that Iguana B seems to have not understood, because when they arrived to the seafood restaurant, Iguana B ordered 4 plates of oysters. 4 plates of oysters and an appetizer as well. Do you know how many oysters she ordered to the table? Of which the fella she was on a date with was expected to have none. 48. Does this hoe have gills? Is she Aquaman? Why is she swimming in the sea? She ate so many oysters, it's a family dynasty. She swallowed a bloodline of mussels. Not only did she do something that's so far left field, she did one of the most grossest things you could do that's so far left field. Slurping down mussel sauce all over your mouth, just doing that sound over and over again. When you just met this person, it's of no surprise that her date, the fella that Iguana B expected to pay for all of her oysters, her drink and her appetizer, snuck off to the bathroom and left the restaurant out the back alley, never to be seen or heard from again. A thing that Iguana did not appreciate at all, as she even included the hashtag of the video. By the way, she recorded this entire date. He broke y'all, and that's the end of story. I don't think him being broke would have been the issue. I just don't think he intended on going on a date with the biggest predator in the ocean ecosystem. You know that saying, there's always a bigger fish? Iguana is that fish. Now, thankfully, this wasn't an elementary school brawl, as it was pretty much agreed across the board that this woman is insane. But my favorite thing to come out of this entire situation was a TikToker coining the new phrase when reacting to all of this situation: big back activities. That is absolute chef's kiss. And I could not describe this situation any more perfectly than that phrase alone. But I could always describe how sad and lonely your life would be if you didn't legally subscribe to Dino. Boys and girls, if you're gonna be minging, don't go on dates. And if you're gonna be minging with seafood, please don't go on dates. That's all I have to say, guys. Bye-bye.